In 2013, Mitch Weiss decided to take a path any lesser man wouldn't dare travel. He now finds himself training to become the Midwest's most knowledgeable sports broadcaster. Focusing on Big Ten and Detroit sports teams, he decided to create a dwelling where his training would go undisturbed, a cave. More specifically, the man cave.
No girls allowed.
Mitch enlisted a team of highly sophisticated cavemen into his service to assist him in his tireless search for, well, sports stuff. When they're not sleeping, eating, or, oh yeah, they're analyzing sports as best a caveman can. You have now entered the man cave.
Danny Weiss is the youngest member of the Cavemen. Standing 6'4" and a fluffy 243 pounds, this Homo erectus enjoys hunting but will also gather from time to time. He has a striking resemblance to Man-Bear Pig and often laughs at his own jokes. At 5'11", 190 pounds, Milton Marcus Lafayette O'Quinn III has the daunting task of being the president and only member of the Joey Harrington fan club. When not watching sports, he enjoys candlelit baths while listening to his favorite album, Big Willie Style. Daniel D-Mac McDonald comes in at 6'1", 200 pounds and hails from the inner city of Bloomfield Hills. He enjoys enjoyable things, sleeps when he's tired, and hopes that one day Ryan Gosling will get a tattoo of Sparty on his chest.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mitch.
And this is the Man Cave.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Mitch's Man Cave. I'm down here with Danny and Milton, and we have a new guest on the show tonight, filling in for D-Mac. He is the youngest of the Weiss clan. His name is Eric, and he's currently sporting a vicious beard.
Yeah, I don't know if the microphone will be able to pick him up tonight. His beard's a little loud.
You think his words are going to get muffled in that beard?
Well, the beard might join. And this is actually the beard talking right now.
Oh, the beard has a mind and a voice of its own.
Yeah, it's the one actually doing the show on the Man Cave. Eric's just watching.
Okay. So what's your name then?
Mike.
Mike
the beard.
Mike the beard.
Original. I like it.
All right. Well, we're glad to have him down here. He does have some previous radio experience on the great 88.1 The Biff. Is it still 88.1?
It is.
It is, yeah. That's the Bloomfield Hills radio station. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Just the Bloomfield Hills Biff.
Bloomfield Hills Biff. So he's not an amateur. And
Well, in general, he's an amateur. But
in general, he's an amateur. But when it comes to radio, he's got a little bit of experience.
Right.
Get used to this, Eric. This is all night.
Oh, I am.
Okay.
Beard is too.
Maybe if you shaved before, you wouldn't be the donkey down here. But since you didn't shave, you're going to be feeling it all night long.
He's pretty much felt it his entire life, so he's used to it by now.
The last 3 dinners have been pretty rough as well.
I'm going to do a rare thing and actually come to Eric's defense, because as a 16-year-old, are you 17 now? 17-year-old.
I'm actually over 17 and a half. You're
Yeah.
a little behind.
There's a lot of brothers to keep track of.
Right.
So Eric's 17 and has just begun to be able to grow a beard. So I understand the excitement and the beard growing.
Thank you.
I'll throw him some credit too. He can grow a better beard than I can.
Oh, me too.
So
I have one spot here. Well, I guess it's 2 spots, but the same spot on both sides.
yeah, I have the same thing.
I have a line here that doesn't grow hair. I'll get there one day. I'll have my own mic.
Might have to teach you the ways.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But anyways, we're going to talk about our weekends. We had a party here on Saturday. Or is it Friday?
Saturday.
We had a party here on Saturday.
And Friday, though.
Yeah, Friday was a little bit too. But Saturday was the main event of the weekend, I'd say. We had people of all demographics and age groups here. We had Danny and his friends who were the youthful group.
Yeah, I brought some youth into the situation.
And then we were all the way up to Joel, who's been on the show a couple times. His older sister, Beth, was here with a few of her friends. And so they were the elder statesmen of the party. So it was a good group. We had a good time. For all of you that are listening that were at the party, good work, because we did finish the keg.
Dude, I was a little worried.
No, a little round of applause there for that.
Yeah.
Good work, everybody. We finished off the keg
That was one night too, just
in one night.
yeah,
And what would you say, about 20 to 30 people over?
probably yeah.
So that was solid. And the best part for me, because I was hosting, was that nothing got ruined in the house. No holes in the walls. No clothes were thrown all over the house. Yeah. No markings on the like spray markings on the wall. None of that. So it was a good party. We had a good time. Didn't see any movies this weekend.
Oh, I did.
What'd you see?
I saw The Way, Way Back. It was a weird movie. It was about this kid, and he went to Cape Cod or some sort of getaway. Couldn't be exact, with his mom and her new boyfriend, and he like rode in the car in the way back seat of a station wagon, so he was facing like the opposite direction. So I guess that was the theme of the title, but it's just about him and like how he was weird and like he met this girl.
Was that with Steve Carell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like worked at this water park. It was really weird.
How have I not heard of this movie?
Because it was honestly kind of bad.
It was bad.
It's kind of bad.
It was like one of those like indie weird comedies.
Yeah. Just Steve Carell like was not funny. He was actually a complete a-hole for the first time I've ever seen him in a movie in such a role. So would not recommend The Way, Way Back for all our listeners.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go see it. I did watch Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, today.
That's
It's
always
a great movie.
always a great experience.
The way that he contorts his face, Jim Carrey, it's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a new role in that movie Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer, I didn't even recognize him, and then they said it was Jim Carrey. He's like, it was a completely different role for him.
You know, I saw that trailer earlier today, and it got me thinking, the title, and it's supposed to be a kids movie, right? More geared towards kids.
Like teenagers.
Yeah. But it's just surprising that they'd have.
I mean, the first one was
ass in
pretty
the title.
graphic.
Was it?
Yeah. What was it rated R though?
I watched the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was rated R. I doubt it was rated R, but who's the main actress? Who's the
younger girl?
Who's the girl?
I don't know. I don't think she's a big name or anything.
She's gonna be a cutie one day, I think. That might be weird of me to say, but
Yeah, a little weird.
well,
We were all thinking it though.
you know, sometimes they look younger than they really are. Like some of those kids that play high school roles in movies, they're actually
Right.
my age.
Yeah.
Or our age, I should say.
It's wishful thinking, Mitch.
Well, I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this. Her name is Chloe Grace Moretz, and she was born in Atlanta, Georgia. Born in 1997.
Eric.
Oh,
That's younger
jeez.
than me.
There you go, Eric.
Eric.
I'm off the market. We all
Yeah,
know
Eric's
this.
spoken for.
Why?
For some strange reason.
He's in a relationship with his beard.
Yeah. Him and Mike have had a week long romance.
Me and Mike's been cuddling for quite some time now.
Okay. Well, we're gonna weigh Danny in now, and we're gonna see if he can get past that plateau point of 235.
I do have to say he did have a piece of pizza at Sunday night dinner.
I saw that.
Which is cheating.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
Danny's giving him the stick.
I didn't mean to
now.
rat you out to all the listeners, but you did cheat. We'll see what happens though. Maybe you'll lose weight. Who knows?
I wonder what's gonna happen later on at home when Danny and Eric.
No, listen, I'll own up to it. I wasn't on my best behavior this week. I think the 235 went to my head a little bit, and I think the weigh-in will
I knew that was gonna happen.
display. Listen, it's
on,
it's a
man.
battle. It's like the market. There's peaks and valleys,
It's a grind.
but it's self-regulating, and we'll bounce back.
Yeah, but you keep getting to that point. I mean, that's the lowest that you've been.
It was an Amici's healthy piece of pizza though.
Oh yeah, to be fair, it was a whole wheat,
was
like
whole
thin
wheat crust.
like
Was the blackened chicken?
middle-aged woman pizza.
Yeah, it was gourmet. I had the leftovers today. Actually, I had 2 pieces
All right,
for
let's get
lunch
this
and
over
1
with.
piece for dinner.
Get the predictions going. Let's get this
All
over
right,
with.
I want to see you stand up first.
Yeah,
and-
stand up. representing the Charleston Cougars.
Yep.
What's up, Brad?
Go
Hey, Brad.
D-Robe.
I'll go 238. 3-pound increase. Eric?
I'm going to go 236.7.
Okay. So 1.5 pound increase.
I'm going to go with 237.
Okay, so we've got 236.7.
We'll call it 0.5 just for.
Okay, 236 and a half, 237, and 238. So it's gonna be a close call. Who gets the prediction right? Well, I guess there's really no anticipation after Danny's Yelp. But the official weigh-in for this week is 241 on the dot. So he's back up into the 240 range. You put on 6 pounds this week?
So the moral of the story is stay away from Mitch's Pizza.
Oh my god.
Dang.
That is incredible. Wow.
What else did you do this week, Danny?
Listen, I'm looking good though.
You know, you don't look like you put on 6 pounds.
No, you
Yeah, it's weight is just a number. The mirror's looking good right now.
Yeah, Danny showed me a mirror selfie, and it was sexy. It was.
post that picture.
Yeah.
I think you like to be the bounce back candidate, so you just go up and down.
I just love being the comeback kid.
Yeah, so you go down to 235 and you're all,
Look at that, Milt. Look at all that sexiness in
I
one
think
pic.
Danny's secretly vying to go for Hero of the Week
It's
every
too
week.
much to handle.
please share.
It's got like an 8-pack.
Share it with the group. Share it with the people. No, just put it online. I'll see it.
I'm not putting this online.
Wow, you butt naked?
Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's a lot of sex in one picture.
That is, man. Surprised your phone didn't blow up. Well, we're looking for you to bounce back again, kid. You've been pretty good at that so far.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah, I don't know. I like to keep the listeners entertained and
Well, we appreciate that.
and
I'm sure they do too.
yeah, it's a battle. But I'm sure
So, are you losing the battle, or are you winning, or is it just week to week?
I'm not really sure at this point.
So, the
I'm
weight
sh-
loss thing is like a war, and each week is the individual battle. So this week you lost the battle.
Yeah.
Last week you were a big winner.
Yeah, too big.
Well,
Went to my head a little bit.
and then this week you're just a huge loser.
What was I the week before?
242.
Okay.
So you didn't jump up. Well, you're 1 pound
Yeah.
short of being back where you were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm not worried. I always bounce back.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
All right, Milt, you want to hit us with the poll question?
We
And the
got
results?
two poll questions this week. First one: do you like the trade for Jose Iglesias? And 100% of our viewers said yes. They really do enjoy this trade. They think it's a good move. And the other one was, do you like the Pistons trade for Brandon Jennings? And once again, 100% said yes. So there are no no's this week. Everyone in Detroit likes the new free agents, the new kids we brought into town. They think they're going to do big things for both the Tigers and Pistons.
You know, that's good to know or hear,
Yeah.
because usually Detroit fans can be pretty critical of the moves. I'm not really surprised on the Brandon Jennings one because there's not much to dislike about that trade. But the Iglesias trade, I heard a lot of people complaining about it because they gave up Abasil Garcia, who everyone loved, and he's also on a division rival. So 2 negatives there. But it's good to see that they agree with the trade, because I personally like the trade a lot. And knowing now that Peralta is going to be suspended for 50 games, obviously has a lot to do with it. But even if Johnny wasn't going to be suspended, his contract is up after this year, and we have plenty of outfield depth in our minor league system, mainly Nick Castellanos, who's our number 1 prospect in our farm system. And finding a quality shortstop, I think, is harder to do than finding a quality outfielder, because I don't really know why. It just always seems that it's harder to find a shortstop than it is to find a corner outfielder. And though Iglesias will not hit anywhere near like Peralta does, but defensively he's a wizard, and he'll help cover up some of Cabrera's lack
add some
of range.
much needed range to the Tigers defense.
Right.
Tigers infield.
He's got a very quick glove.
And he brings down our average weight in the infield.
He does,
which is good.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. Miggy makes some great plays as well.
He does.
For his size, he's really impressed me.
Yeah, I'm not hating on his defensive abilities. It's more just his range. If he's able to get to a ball, he's got a very good glove and a very strong throwing arm. But it's, like I said, that lack of range that people kind of harp on him about. But Iglesias should do a good job of covering up some of that lack of range over there on the left side of the bullpen.
And as of now, we're second overall in runs, first overall in batting average, first overall in on-base percentage, and third overall in slugging percentage. So offense is not really our weak point by any means.
And Iglesias will help out pitchers such as Rick Porcello, who's a sinker ball pitcher and gives up a lot of ground balls.
Pfister also gives up a lot of
Pfister as well.
Ground balls.
So Iglesias will help out our pitching staff as well. And it's good to be strong up the middle. Defensively, you've got Avila behind the plate, who's good defensively. Iglesias now up the middle at shortstop, who's tremendous defensively, and Austin Jackson in the middle, in center field of the outfield, who's also tremendous defensively. So I like the move, and he's young. He's 23, so he'll be our shortstop for this year and beyond. He's signed for 4 more years, so through 2017, at only $8 million total, so $2 million a year. So minimal salary hit, great defense,
and he leads all rookies in the American League with the best batting average.
Yeah, he's got potential to grow.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the batting average is a little inflated right now, but it's yet to be seen. I mean, I don't think he'll be a complete liability offensively.
No,
not at all.
And if he can learn to run the bases a little better, he'll be a threat on the base paths as well. And he's only 23, so he has time to fill out, add some more muscle to his frame. I think he's about 6'2" or 6'3", but he's on the lighter side. He's 175, 185 pounds. So he's got room to add some muscle to his frame and maybe get a little bit more pop in his bat.
You think you should ask Johnny for some tips on how to get stronger?
How to get bulky?
I don't think Johnny's the one that he wants to go to. But speaking of Johnny, and I know I just touched on this, but he has been suspended for 50 games, and he accepted the suspension from Major League Baseball. He was one of 12 players to accept a 50-game ban. And the lone name out there still is A-Rod. The MLB has announced a suspension for him, a 200-game suspension for him.
Wow.
That will be enforced on Thursday, but he plans on appealing it, so he'll be able to play as long as the appeal process is going on. And I don't really want to get into it much because I know everyone listening has already heard it in other media outlets, and everyone's just kind of sick of hearing about it. But it's really a shame for the game of baseball, and to have one of the stars of the game tarnished like this, 2 stars of the game if you include Ryan Braun. It's really unfortunate, but it's good to see that baseball is taking steps in the direction of cleaning up the sport, and I hope that this investigation kind of paves the way and scares players away from doing PEDs in the future.
They needed to make those big suspensions, especially what happened to Braun last year.
Right. I mean, it's good to see them come down and kind of slam them, but hopefully it has some lasting impact.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that all this is still happening because you sort of associate the steroid era with the 90s, but, I mean, it hasn't gone away. It really hasn't.
No, I mean, the steroids and the PEDs and HGH, players are going to try and find any advantage they can get. You know, it's their livelihood. They need that contract money to support their families and their way of life. And, you know, people sometimes take shortcuts that they shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to live with only 1 Lamborghini instead of 2?
I ask myself the same thing every day.
Pistons are going to announce the trade of Brandon Jennings officially on Tuesday of this week. And as we learned from the poll question, sounds like 100% of the fan base is on board with that acquisition. As am I. We gave up nothing. It's basically a swap of Brandon Jennings for Brandon Knight. The other 2 players involved were Slava Fetisov. What's his name?
Slava Kravitsov.
Say it one more time.
Kravitsov.
Okay, and he was the guy we brought over last year from Russia, and he barely played. And then the other guy was Chris Middleton, who was a wing player we drafted in the 2nd round last year and barely got any run.
I always thought he was a bad draft pick from the start, too.
Yeah. Well,
I like Slava Fetisov, though. I think he showed a little promise.
Slava Fetisov.
What's his name, Eric?
Kravitsov. I mean, he's really just a Russian Drummond, though, and Drummond's better than him also. So.
Yeah, it's true. But we sort of lack depth at the 4 and 5 position.
Yeah,
now.
I think we could have held on to him, maybe given up something like...
Well, you can't say that because you can't really hate on that trade to get Brandon Jennings, who's definitely an upgrade over Brandon Knight.
Right. And I guess the only other piece we could have given up was Tony Mitchell, who actually has promise.
Yeah, I don't want to go with Tony Mitchell. He's a
Yeah.
freak athlete. He's kind of in the same mold as Josh Smith, maybe not doesn't take as many stupid shots.
He could end up being like a Rodman, kind of. I mean, he really has rebounding talent.
I watched him in the summer league, and he hustled, which is rare for the summer league because it seems like a lot of guys are out there, drafted guys, not guys that are undrafted free agents because they go hard, but it seems like a lot of the drafted guys kind of pick their spots to hustle. And every game that I watched, he was up and down the floor, running like a madman, jumping. He can jump out of the gym.
Yeah, he really can.
He can sky. And with Brandon Jennings in the fold, the Pistons are going to be a really, really exciting team. I think the Palace will be back to its full capacity self like it was during the run with the Bad Boys 2 team.
They might have to put that the sellout count back up there.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I plan on going to a few games this year, as many as I can get to. I'm excited about the team. I really think that we're going to make the playoffs as one of the bottom 3 seeds. And I'm excited. I mean, it's good to have some NBA excitement back in Detroit.
We also signed Peyton Siva recently.
Yeah, we signed. That was today. We signed
today,
Peyton Siva today. That actually surprised me because he's now the 4th point guard on the roster. I guess Chauncey is going to play both guard spots, but
he looked good in summer league.
He did look good in summer league, but with the loss of Fetisov or
Kravitsov,
we don't have a backup big man.
Well, maybe they're going to throw Mitchell right into it then.
Yeah, but Mitchell's not a center.
He's not that big.
6'8".
I mean, we could sign like a veteran or something. I don't know who's still out there, but
the
reality is the league is getting smaller.
The league is getting smaller, but we don't have. I guess what we could do is we could play Monroe at the center when Drummond needs a breather,
right, and then
push
Smith
up
to the
power
floor,
forward, and then rotate like that. But
we still have Jerebko, too.
Yeah, but only having 2 legit big guys over 6'10". Well, I guess Charlie Villanueva too, but he's a softie.
Right. Yeah.
He's a floater.
Right.
I would like to see one more big man, but what are you gonna do? Maybe trade Jerebko if they could get rid of Jerebko for a big guy.
I think they should have thrown him into that trade, maybe.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Dump off more money too.
Right. Maybe that's why they didn't want him though.
It'll be interesting to see how the rotation plays out though, because we actually have a lot of depth and a lot of guys who are getting significant playing time last year are going to be 7th, 8th, 9th men.
Right. Well, who's going to play shooting guard? Who's going to start at shooting guard?
That's a big question too. I mean, Chauncey could fill in, but I don't know. I think he said that he wants to be more of a point guard.
Yeah,
obviously,
he did say that.
Obviously the draft pick.
Yeah, KCP.
KCP.
Speaking of KCP, did you guys see that picture today on Twitter that he released? His autograph. He autographed a bunch of playing cards. I
actually was just looking at that on the Pistons Twitter.
His autograph is literally K.C.P. number 5. The most basic autograph I've ever seen.
I mean, his hand would get tired if he had to write out his full name over and over
again.
That's actually been a trend. The second last name I noticed, just because I'm big into basketball recruiting, that in high school he was actually Contavious Caldwell, and Michael Kidd Gilchrist was actually just Michael Gilchrist. And as soon as they got to college in the NBA, just Kidd and Pope were just added.
Oh yeah, they just came out of nowhere. They just said, "Hey, I'm going to add Pope to my name."
Yeah. I'm telling you, originally on the recruiting list, they were just Contavious Caldwell and Michael Gilchrist.
MKG kind of flows. I don't know.
It works.
It's catchy. It works.
Yeah. Well, if anybody goes into Pawn Stars with the KCP autograph, they're going to have a hard time deciding if it's a legit one or not, because I feel like that's an easily replicated autograph.
It's not even cursive. It's
what did he do? He probably what did he skip cursive class in elementary school?
Not even. It's like that highly sought after of a autograph at this point, though. So.
Not yet.
Not even skipping cursive.
He will be when he's the best player in the league.
How annoying was that in elementary school when they made you learn cursive? and they're like, you're going to use it for the rest of your life.
Right.
And they really stressed that, and you never used it.
They were so strict about it too.
Yeah.
I remember like the learning books, they had the lines, 2 solid lines and then one dotted one in the middle that kind of cut off your lowercase and capital letters.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
That was like my main memory of elementary school, was like learning cursive.
Perfect cohesive.
You know, my autograph is not very consistent. I always try, and I'm good for the first, let's see what it would be. It would be six letters. I do an M, and I soup the last line down and make a J to come back up into the W, and then the EI. But for some reason, the double S's at the end, they're always off. They're never the same.
I have the same problem. It's tough.
I can't get the double S. I don't know why.
My double N's at the end always look broke, but the rest of it looks clean.
I'm actually better at Mom's signature than I am my own because she's the name on my debit card, so I have to sign her name so often.
Who are you forging checks?
Shade.
I'm actually
Yeah, you probably should announce that.
well, I don't think Bouchard or someone.
Feds are always listening there.
Someone from the feds. is
Mom's listening. She texts me every week.
Yeah.
She says, "Great show."
That's sweet of her. No, I
Would you expect anything different?
no, I spent
Your
most
show
of my
was horrible this week. When's the last time you heard a mom say that to their son?
I spent most of my time in high school class practicing my signature.
Me too.
It was great though, because like it made it look like I was taking notes, but I was really just practicing my signature.
You know, Milt still has aspirations of going to the
Yeah,
league.
I was always practicing for the league.
He throws his number on all of his autographs. I know that because every time he comes over to my house on a weekend, the next morning when I'm cleaning up, there's random things all over my house that are just autographed. Milton Quinn III, number 23.
We were selling someday.
Was it 34?
Some days it's 42, some days it's 12.
What is he just changes it up.
Yeah.
Whatever number.
You got to hang on to those things.
I do. I gave my friend Dan Shoney my signature like 4 years ago, number 12, and told him, it's gonna make him rich one day.
That's
He's
very
still
that's
waiting
very
for the
sweet of you
paycheck.
as well.
I am holding out a grudge on you though, Milt, because he threw his autograph on my ESPN body issue. I was not pleased with that.
Milt, were you featured in that issue?
Should have been.
Yeah.
I think I slept through the shoot though.
I got contacted to be in it, but then it turns out they don't like people that are 20 to 30 pounds overweight.
Milt, do you have a wife of the week for us this week?
I do have a wife of the week, and for the first time, she is not sexy.
Oh.
Her name is
Interesting.
Yeah, she's 40 years old. Her name's Sarah Thomas, and right now she has aspirations of becoming the first NFL referee.
Full time?
Full time.
Is she married though?
She is married with 3 kids.
Okay, so she is a wife.
Okay. She's been officiating college football in Conference USA since 2007 and is a member of NFL's officiating development program and a finalist to become a permanent NFL official, which could likely happen in 2014. She arrived at Saints camp on Thursday and will train there Friday and during Saturday's scrimmage.
What are you guys laughing about?
These guys are being disrespectful.
Sarah Thomas is the same name of Danny's lady friend.
Oh.
Okay, I thought you guys were just laughing that a chick was about. I was like, that's just
No,
weird.
no, we are. Yeah, I think it's great what
Okay.
Sarah Thomas II is doing, but yeah.
And what else? She played basketball at the University of Mobile and became the first woman to referee a Division 1A high school football game. And so, she's making strides to hopefully in 2014 be calling.
This isn't an imminent thing.
Right. I mean, she's done. She's refereed a few Senior Bowls and like college stuff, but right now she's like on schedule to fill in as the next full-time referee in 2014.
She's not too hard on the eyes, though.
She kind of looks like Cheryl David in that pic.
Yeah.
From Curb, but yeah, I mean, in her uniform, obviously, she doesn't look too fresh.
I don't know. Look at that.
But does it boost her sex appeal that she's into football?
I
that
say
is
most
true.
certainly.
That is true.
Okay.
You know, I saw a female reffing some of the summer league games too.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the NBA's had female refs for a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how the NFL players are going to take to a female ref though, if they'll listen to her and
It's a man's game.
Well,
know?
Saints star quarterback Drew Brees says some women are are just as qualified as anybody who's out there, and he supports the idea of a female ref.
Okay. Drew Brees is a big name in the NFL, so you got to respect that opinion. So speaking of football, Michigan and Michigan State opened up their fall camp today, and there are many stories coming out of both camps, but the main focus of the Michigan State camp seems to be the quarterback battle. And today, during the media session following the practice, head coach Mark D'Antonio said that Andrew Maxwell, who was last year's starter, and Connor Cook, who was number 2 but got extensive run in Michigan State's bowl victory over TCU, will be splitting first-team reps, with true freshman Damian Terry also getting some run. And that's a big issue. It's been a hot topic in the Michigan State fan base, and I guess probably within the program, of who's going to be the quarterback this year, because D'Antonio has been non-committal all offseason of who is going to be the starter. And I know from talking with Joel, who's my Spartan insider when he's not on the show, he personally does not want to see Maxwell as the quarterback next season, which surprised me because he will be heading into his 5th year in the program and coming off a season in which he started every game. But he seems to think that Connor Cook possesses more talent and will have a better grip on the offense on game days. That was Joel's big thing, was he said that Maxwell tears it up in practice, but when the lights go on, for whatever reason, he just doesn't seem to perform like he does in practice. So that'll be something to watch for in Spartan camp. And then in the Michigan camp, Michigan, with the departure of Denard Robinson, will be going back to a more traditional pro-style offense. Even though Devin Gardner does have scrambling ability, he's definitely more of a pass-first, run-second quarterback. And they'll be running a lot more plays under center. And that's why there's a lot of focus on the running back battle this year, because Fitz Toussaint, who broke his leg last year against Iowa, will be back for his senior year, and he has one 1,000-yard campaign under his belt. But he'll be tested by 2 incoming freshmen, one being Davion Smith, who's a 4-star running back prospect out of Ohio, and the other, who's the big name, is Derek Green, who is a 5-star prospect and to some recruiting services the number 1 overall back coming out of high school. And so he's expected to give Toussaint a run for his money, but in the media session today after Michigan's first practice, Toussaint all but guaranteed that he will be the starter in week 1 against Central Michigan, which I don't really disagree with. I think the real question is who's going to be the running back at the end of the season when Michigan faces Ohio in the game.
Yeah, Hoke was. He said that the first 2.5 weeks of camp they're going to be extremely physical, because he wants to see who's going to be the guy who can grind every day, and be there at the end of the year.
Moving over to the NFL, the Lions have announced their unofficial depth chart for the first preseason game on August 9th against the Jets. And no major surprises, but just a couple things of note. We've talked about the outside linebacker position, and Ashley Palmer is listed number 1 right now on the depth chart over Tahir Whitehead and Travis Lewis. The 4th and 5th wide receivers are Patrick Edwards, who was an undrafted free agent last year but missed the season with an injury. He's a smaller guy, but he's supposed to be more of a Percy Harvin role. Obviously not as talented as Percy Harvin, but he's a slasher, speed guy, about 5'9". He can get reverses and stuff like that, and he can help out in the return game. And the 5th was Chris Durham, who was on the Lions for a portion of the season last year. He's a 6'6" white wide receiver, which you don't really see too often. And he played with Matthew Stafford at Georgia in college. So he provides a nice red zone threat. But left off the top 5 wide receivers was Corey Fuller, who the Lions drafted in the 6th round out of Virginia Tech. And they also listed wide receiver Michael Spurlock as the number 1 punt returner and kick returner. So if those first 5 that I mentioned hold true, 1 through 3 obviously being Calvin Burleson and Brian Broyles, then it might be tough for Corey Fuller to make the team. If Spurlock's going to be the 6th wide receiver helping out in the return game, it seems like early on Corey Fuller is going to have to battle his way onto the roster. Other things of note, Jason Fox and Dylan Gandy are your starters at right tackle and right guard respectively. And Ziggy Ansah, the number 5 overall pick, and Jason Jones, who the Lions picked up in free agency this offseason from Seattle, are listed as the number 1 defensive ends. And I'm excited to see the Lions play on the 9th. I don't know how long the starters are going to play for. They usually don't play extensively until the 3rd game. But there seems to be a considerable amount of buzz coming out of training camp. And it's always fun to watch football.
One thing I'm going to pay attention to is to see how Riley Reif, the young left tackle, does protecting Stafford's blind side. Obviously, Stafford has had some injury issues in the past, and it'll be interesting to see if he can hold it down there on the left side. Also, it's encouraging to see Ansah in the starting lineup. I was a little worried about him, him coming out being a very raw player, but I guess he must have developed nicely and in camp and everything.
I think he's come on strong of late because I remember seeing reports of the first few days saying that he was struggling a little bit.
His physical tools are so ridiculous, though. I mean, there's no way I think he cannot be successful in the NFL.
I think he's going to be just like Jason Pierre-Paul of the Giants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same background, same measurables. I think he's going to be a beast personally.
Pierre-Paul wasn't big out of college either. He's just coming from South Florida, who's just a non-really traditional Big East school.
Right. Our defensive line is going to be very good. There's a lot of depth there, and Sue and Fairley could team up to be the best defensive tackle combo in the league.
Was Jason Jones sort of a surprise over Willie Young? I thought Willie Young was doing pretty well in camp.
He was, but I think him and Ansah play the same position. They're both the rush wide defensive end on the weak side. Jason Jones is more the strong side, providing run support, where Kyle Vandenbosch has been the last couple seasons. So we'll see. Another thing of note is Ron Bartel, who is actually a Detroit native. He's listed as the number 1 cornerback. Well, I guess number 2 opposite, but starting opposite of Chris Houston. So Darius Slay has some more work to do, I guess, to get into that starting role. And Bill Bentley, I think, has solidified his spot as a nickelback. I don't think he's going to challenge much as an outside cornerback unless there's injuries and he's needed out there.
Yeah, I think they have Bentley as the 3rd DB covering the slot.
Yeah, but I think he's number 1 in the nickel coverage, which gets played almost just as much as the base defense.
You hear about Kickalicious?
What happened?
Apparently, Dave Burkett, I believe he's a beat writer for the Lions, he tweeted today, okay, now it's getting out of hand. GQ was at Lions training camp to do a story on Kickalicious today.
You need
GQ?
GQ explain
magazine.
the Kickalicious story.
Kickalicious, he was kind of a YouTube sensation. He signed with us in the offseason, and
where's he from, though? Sorry to interrupt you. He's from somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, I want
Sweden
to say
Norwegian? Well, that's just
Norway.
Norway, yeah. I think he's from Norway, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, keep going, Milt.
But yeah, he's just and I guess first it was Sports Illustrated. He was in there for a story, and now GQ was at practice to do a story on him. So I've heard that him and David Akers have had a pretty intense battle. The past few days, they each get to kick about 4 field goals during training camp. Kickalicious missed 1. Akers hit all of them. But Kickalicious did nail one from 58 yards. So he's got the leg. They're excited, but they also don't want people to forget that David Akers did hit a 63-yarder last year. So he still has some leg, but I know he fought injuries.
Yeah,
so
injuries
might still not be there.
His accuracy has been declining as well.
Yeah. How are we pronouncing his actual name?
Havard?
Havard Rugland,
right?
Havard Rugland.
It's really not that hard.
No, but it's pronounced differently than it looks. His
Could be
first
some
name.
secret accents that we don't even know about.
Right. But I like Kickalicious better. Rolls off the tongue.
And check out his YouTube because he.
Yeah. We'll post it on the group.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's ridiculous.
I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero.
right, Dan, you want to hit us with your hero of the week?
My hero of the week this week is the world famous Mark Wahlberg, a.k.a. Marky Mark. A few days ago, he was on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. And right now, Wahlberg is in Detroit shooting the movie Transformers 4. Yes, Transformers 4. They're still pumping them out.
Hell yeah.
And, they started talking about Detroit, and Fallon was asking him about what living in Detroit was like. And Wahlberg really repped it. He was saying how his wife was terrified to come to Detroit because, everything you hear in the media and around is just not positive at all, very negative. But he was just talking about how him and his family have loved living here, and it's not what everyone thinks, and he's really hoping that more businesses come here.
Mm-hmm. He specifically gave a shout-out to Birmingham as well.
Yeah, because I think that's where he's hanging around.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a quote from him. I love the city, great people. I hope they turn it around. Art, music, food, everything's great.
Well, it's nice to hear the support of some prominent people
in
favor of Detroit, because we definitely need it. But I'm gonna add another hero of the week. This is a little bit more personal. Our cousin Jillian Fellows, we call her Jill or Jilly. She's currently on a trip to Africa, a 3-week trip, and she's out there teaching African kids in class and
about Michigan football,
and Detroit sports. Yeah. But she's also, as part of the trip, they're doing some recreational activities, hiking, sightseeing, stuff like that. No, Milt, not those kind of recreational activities. And a picture got posted on their Facebook group of their group right before they went on a hike up Mount Kilimanjaro. I think it's a week-long hike, 5 days up, 1 day down. And Jilly is rocking her Detroit Tigers bright orange D t-shirt in the picture. Nice. So we just want to give a shout-out to Jilly for repping the D out there in Africa right before she goes on a hike up Mount Kilimanjaro.
Good for her.
They're summiting, too, going all the way to the top.
Yeah, they're going all the way to the top, going to the summit.
It's kind of symbolic of Detroit, I think.
Yeah. Started from the bottom, we're going to the summit.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully we stay there.
I thought you were going more along the lines of Summit Mall, but...
No, Summit Mall is gone.
Yeah, Summit Mall is...
Rest in peace.
In the depths of hell.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Mitch's Man Cave. Thanks for tuning in, and you may now exit the Man Cave.